region-wide settlement strategy, connected governance between sectors involved in settlement integration, 2 welcome centers, and multi-dimensional settlement and integration infrastructure. Now, all of this happened in 5 years, and just ask Barack Obama, change on this scale rarely happens in such a short period. What's more remarkable is this happened in Durham region, at first glance an unlikely habitat for such significant diversity change. Now, change in this place, at this pace, begs the question, why? What accounts for this change? So, in short, local immigration partnerships. Now, it would be superficial or suspect to say all of this change can be attributed to LIPs, but they have been a significant player, and thus their contribution is worth examining. Now, this is how Citizenship and Immigration Canada defines LIPs. I'm going to skip over that because Becky's already given us a very thorough introduction on what they are. The one thing I will say is just in comparison to previous policies, upper level government funding, municipal involvement, and a mandate are really 3 new things that have played a pretty big role. So there are 35 LIPs across the province of Ontario. 36, I guess I missed one in the count.
Just checked in last week. So.
Oh, okay, so you're right, because I haven't checked it then. I did a case study of Durham region. Now, Durham is an outer suburb of Toronto, one of 4 greater Toronto area regions around the city of Toronto, albeit the one with the smallest immigrant population. Most people rarely go to Durham, but rather through it, east of Cottage Country or west of Toronto, and I can say that because I'm born and raised in Durham. Demographically, Durham has 608,124 people. Ajax and Whitby are the fastest growing municipalities. Its immigrant population is just over 20% of its general population. 96% of its newcomers settle in either Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, or Oshawa, with Pickering and Ajax having the largest foreign-born populations. Now, in terms of methods, because LIPs are supposed to be community-based policies, I wanted to learn what the community's experience was on an organizational basis. So I set out to interview organizations qualitatively within the sectors research shows plays a role in settlement and integration. The outcome of this approach was 51 interviews completed, from May to August 2012 with the following sectors. Now, results from these interviews showed the first significant finding to be the role the regional municipality of Durham played. Ethnocultural organizations and lower tier municipal diversity committees had actually lobbied the region for decades to act on immigration, to no avail. In 1999, the region examined the issue in a report, but ultimately decided initiatives of this nature should be community-based, not government-driven. The region's approach started to change in 2007 when it approved looking into a diversity committee. On December 12, 2007, the Regional Council actually approved a diversity committee. Now, they did this shortly before the LIP request for proposals in February 2008, which was suspiciously close. Nevertheless, as participants indicated, the region did commit to a diversity committee before the LIP RFP, and the region's reasons for doing this, in their mind, were changing demographics and a changing economy. However, a regional government report released in November 2007 said that Durham chose the LIP model it did to increase its likelihood of receiving upper-level government funding, and it had informal dialogue with CIC prior to applying for a LIP. Therefore, it's safe to say the ability of upper-level government funding may not be the reason for the region's commitment to diversity, but it is a large factor and has played a large part in its commitment level. For example, look at the type of infrastructure LDIPSI has been able to establish thanks to upper-level government funding. Prior to LDIPSI, I should just clarify, LDIPSI is what the Durham Region LIP is called, as you've probably picked up on. It's Durham Region Local Diversity and Immigration Partnership Council. It's a tongue twister. It took me a while to learn how to say that properly. So prior to LDIPSI, information resources amounted to basically an ethnocultural directory, which was outdated by years. Post LDIPSI today, Durham is a current web-based portal containing everything from description of immigration services to steps assisting newcomers in establishing themselves. In another example, in the early 2000s, Durham briefly had a multicultural newspaper run by community leaders that struggled to survive. Now it has a regional newsletter called The Citizen, which participants described as relevant, useful, and informative. And all of this is regionally based infrastructure made possible by upper-level government funding. Now, Regional government participation has actually helped facilitate initiatives on a regional scale, such as the committees here responsible for Durham's immigration portal. These committees were populated with members from a broad base of organizations, everything from faith-based organizations to United Way. Historically, this is actually the largest region-building exercise in Durham's history in any policy area, which is quite something. And the region's stature played a large role in ensuring this, and steps like this have been critical to improving governance between sectors involved in settlement and integration. Previously, Durham's approach to settlement had been hindered by sectoral and municipal silos. Without a regional approach, everyone stayed in their own bubble. With the introduction of LDIPSI and the subsequent infrastructure, according to 90% of participants, silos have been broken. A prime example of improved governance is illustrated by Durham's approach to CIC's modernization proposal process. Before applications were submitted, LDIPSI convened all organizations interested in applying, big or small, specific or non-specific, to sort out who would be best suited to applying for what services. The outcome helped reach through an external facilitator to avoid dysfunction. In the eyes of participants, was a strategic, fair approach that worked out for most. It also helped further integrate CIC-funded organizations. Now,